Yeah, understanding that CBDCs are coming and are a huge distraction for what is actually happening behind the scenes is one of the reasons why we're here. We want to help our community be prepared. So maybe this is a great time to shift focus of saying, listen, I hear you when you say there's no chance, not even a little bit, no doubt in my mind, things are getting bad. Hyperinflation is coming. The economy is going in a way that it's not going to be fun for people. I would really love your perspective as someone who just gets it. Like, I know the way that you prepare with gold must mean that you're equally prudent in preparing in other ways. So help me understand, what are the things that you would want our audience to know are ways that they can prepare for what's really coming? How can we allow our community, let's do one thing to help them prepare based on this information we're giving. What can they do about it? What's your recommendation?
Well, I can tell you what I've done for myself. And see, I knew in 2008 that the system died and it was just put on life support and papered over so people didn't realize what had happened. But I was living in a little 2-bedroom condo getting ready to retire. And I was just it was a place I could lock the door and off I go on my travels and my adventures. And when 2008 happened, instead of doing that, what I did was I bought a half an acre in central Phoenix, a house with a half an acre. And I did that because I knew my daughters wouldn't leave and I'm not leaving them. So I needed to be prepared. And what I also know, and we're seeing this evolve, so everybody should be aware of this anyway, but food becomes the single biggest issue for people during these transitions. So what should they do? They should look at their food security. I mean, that's why I have the mantra. That's what I personally have been working on in earnest. I mean, I've been accumulating gold because I knew it was the end of the currency's life cycle. But I didn't think I'd see it in my lifetime. I really didn't. But 2008 made that quite clear that yes, indeed, we were going to see it. So I would say to people, to find your holes, and a good place to look is what happened to you in April of 2020. How easy was it to get food or any of the other things that you needed to do? Because I think that was a big test to see how far they could push people and get them into compliance, depending upon how scared they were, right? So the mantra is the mantra because you've got to ensure that you have this to be as independent and self-sufficient as possible. Food, water, energy, security, barterability, wealth preservation, community, and shelter. And even though food is the biggest issue for people, I would arguably say that community is the single most important part of that mantra, because no one person can do it all by themselves. And
That's right.
I may look like I've done it all by myself, but when we were talking earlier, I said I have a phenomenal support team
Yeah.
that helps me accomplish all of this. And when I said that, I was thinking too about my farm manager and now I have a bug out location. That's what I discovered in March, April of 2020. When I'm out there walking around going, oh, thank God I did all of this because it didn't impact me at all. I had plenty of toilet paper I could share. I had plenty of food I could share. I had water. I had all those things. But there were riots that took place near my house and near my children's house. And I thought, and I slept in my bed with a gun. And I thought, no, 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 no. This is not the way to live. Because when people are hungry and hopeless, they make choices they would not otherwise make. And so it took a while to find a bug out location. And I'm executing the mantra on that. So there's another channel that we've opened up, and it's called Beyond Gold and Silver. And it talks about all those other mantra pieces and tries to meet you where you are. So if this is all brand new to you, okay. Well, if you don't have the ability to create gardens, maybe you have the ability to buy an extra bag and you don't have much money, maybe you can buy an extra bag of rice and beans, which make a complete protein, and throw a can of tomatoes in there. It's not bad eating, put out a rain barrel to make sure that you've got water, get a filter, so you need to just kind of step back, and that can seem overwhelming. But the way that I've done it for myself is I step back and I say, okay, where am I the most vulnerable?
Mm-hmm.
You got to preserve your purchasing power. You've got to preserve your purchasing power so that if you fall short in any other areas, you have the way to buy it. But, beyond that, you want to look at it and go, okay, where am I the most vulnerable? And then start to plug that hole and then move on to the next piece of the mantra where you feel the most vulnerable and get it done as quickly as you can.